Make sure we got this going here. Okay. And make sure I got the mic going. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Deonte Burden. Listen, this is a change of lives. Having a quick live feed with you guys in the middle of the day. I want to give you guys three keys to effective co-parenting. Um, I've been divorced for almost 3 years now, and co-parenting it's had its challenges for me and everything. And I know a lot of people go through the same things. I think, but I will say this: in comparison to most time when I talk to people, have conversations, I think my stuff a whole lot smoother than a lot of things that some of my friends and family members have went through. But I do want to share three things that I think the most effective things to have effective co-parenting skills. Now, I ain't finna say this stuff don't work for me all the time. Now, I ain't finna just tell that story and to say that co-parenting has been smooth for me. But I do think if these key things are in place, it'll make things a whole lot easier because we know when you go through divorces, breakups, things like that, and you have those children, you have to, you know, be able to work together. The issue comes up with working together. At one point, you probably was in unison, and now you're on two different paths. And with them two different paths, you got things going on. The fair thing, maybe a person got work and life and things like that. But also now they have maybe other people, emotions, and all of the kind of stuff adding to it. So, excuse me, from a realistic standpoint, you can't just say this is just going to be easy. Co-parent is just going to be the smooth thing for a person to do. That's I don't think that's going to be simple. Now, if you have uh, uh, able to co-parent. I've seen people do it, and they've had no hiccups or anything like that. Of course, you may have schedule differences and things like that, but just overall being smooth is possible, and I've seen it. But I think far too often, because when the three things that I'm about to discuss aren't necessarily in place, that's when things get a little funky. Okay, but I will say this: if you can work on these particular things, it'll probably make co-parent a whole lot smoother. The issue that comes up with this, and I definitely know these guys without even going any further. Co-parenting is co. That means it's more than one person, right? Hell, in some instances, you might have three or four. So you can do what you want to do, but that doesn't guarantee that the other person's going to do what they're supposed to do. Totally get it, totally understand. But I will say this: as long as you can try to do the best you can possible without losing your damn mind and going veering off to doing things you normally don't do, I think you'll be okay. I think we actually start having issues more so when we get outside of how we normally are, and that's when we start having the issues when we start talking about, being an effective co-parent. I've been trying to see what's going on with my StreamYard, guys. I don't know what's been happening all day long, but it definitely has not been connecting to none of my other platforms today. With the three things we started talking about having effective co-parent, the first thing is just communication, being able to talk to each other, being able to, when we discuss communicating, communication has two facets. Guys, now listen, if you are on the live chat right now, we are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. The main hub is the Change Lives. The main hub is on the YouTube channel. I apologize. Change Lives, hosted by Deonte Burden. We talk about professional development, personal development, parenting, motivation, things like that. Really based as a channel for Black fathers, Black single fathers, kind of like myself. With doing the things, kind of be a share point, giving my vantage point with certain things. So if you do come in, or you have to come in late, or if you get knocked out of the chat, always go to Change Lives, hosted by Deonte Burden. You can Google it. You'll see the YouTube channel there. With that, we got over 600 videos on the YouTube channel. A lot of great information that we've shared over the past couple of years in regards to subjects even just like this. But again, we're talking about three keys to effective co-parent. That first one being communication. Like I said, two things with communication: you got to give and receive. So one person is talking, another person got to be doing what? Listening. And a lot of times people are so stuck on their way or way they think of being heard and their point of view the whole listening aspect doesn't get taken into consideration. But you got to be able to effectively communicate because far too often things get missed, things don't get taken into consideration because people aren't communicating and sharing information with each other. When that doesn't happen, you still got your regular day-to-day schedules, and when things need to be done, I forgot about it. I didn't know. Nobody didn't tell me. It's not that somebody didn't tell you, you just didn't listen. You didn't try to, be proactive and stick on the plan we have. You got to be able to communicate. You got to be able to communicate. Remember what I said before, guys. When you try to start doing the whole facet of communicating, and again, I'm gonna get this disclaimer again. I ain't gonna tell you no damn BS to sit here and tell you that me and my ex-wife have been kumbaya on everything, and even if we damn kumbaya on a lot of things right now, but I'm just telling you what I do know that to make things more effective, these three principles will help anybody be a lot more effective. And that communication is key because you got to be able to talk. Put emotions got to be put to the side. I don't like you. I don't like you. I can't stand this. I can't stand that. Those just emotions. That doesn't benefit the whole facet of just being able to communicate. We start talking about co-parenting, right? You don't have to like a person. You don't have to like a person, but the points, the information has to be given and received. It has to be written down, or however it's annotated and stuff like that. The communication, how the child is doing, where you going, or how you live, whatever the points that has to be across, it has to be communicated effectively. Given, received. It has to be done. No matter you have, and again, a lot of times I think if people put certain things to the side, a lot of issues wouldn't happen. So again, what the first key thing for effective co-parenting, you got to have proper communication in place. And guys, you got any question, anything like that you want to add to the conversation, feel free to add in right now. I don't see anybody on the lives. Something going on. Okay, comments. Trying to bear with me 1 second, guys. Again, we're talking about 3 keys to effective communications. Three keys to effective co-parenting, and I think that communication is key because far too often, people shy away from talking to another person because how they have feelings about them or how family members feel about them. But at the end of the day, if y'all got that, you know, bond being a child, you have to be able to communicate and talk. Okay, so that's the first key to effective co-parenting is communicating. The second thing is respect. Going back to the whole point of just how emotions be, you don't have to like a person to do it. It's just like when we do business and stuff like that. I've been in business for over 20 years, and one of the key things that I've learned is that the deal is the deal. I ain't gotta like you at all. I ain't gotta like you at all. I ain't gotta like the stuff you do. That's as long as you're not doing anything morally or illegally to somebody, don't have the person to like you to get the deal done. I just gotta respect you. I gotta respect you. Handle everything accordingly and just move in a proper way. Far too often, because people don't like people, they don't respect them. And hell, I ain't never damn disrespecting nobody. I can just say that myself. But I've damn sure been disrespected by people, and I feel some type of way, and I try not to linger on that too much. But it definitely puts a damper on co-parenting because you're still a woman, I'm still a man, and we want to be treated accordingly. How you feel about me, what I've done, and what I'm doing forward, it's irrelevant, right? As long as it's not putting anybody at harm. And that's, when we're talking about regardless of damn gender, whoever it is, you have to have respect for the person. Because when you don't have respect for them, there are so many other things that can hinder co-parenting. Because you're going to move in a certain way, your actual children are going to see certain things, and they may pick up on certain damn ways that you move, and you may treat the other parent a certain way. You have other people, i.e. friends, i.e. family, that see certain things, and they may get upon themselves. They want to move in a certain way to disrespect the one parent, and that shit ain't gonna never work out. It ain't gonna never damn work out. So you got to find some way to look again, put your emotions in check. So if you want to be an effective co-parent to be able to do that. So you say, D, look, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm talking to the damn person. I'm giving them respect. They're not giving it to me. I understand, and it's nothing uncommon. But at the end of the day, you got to choose upon yourself, like how much you're gonna stress yourself out, getting outside of yourself. I've never ever co-signed for anybody letting somebody disrespect them. Okay, you get so far in the conversation, you're doing certain things, we're doing it. You ain't got to damn deal with it. You don't have to deal with them in a certain way, but you still have to take care of your child. You still, have your obligation to your child. I say this: at the end of the day, again, we're talking about effective co-parenting. it's not gonna be effective. It's gonna have issues with that, as far as the co-parenting, and that ain't nothing uncommon either. Okay, that's nothing uncommon. Your ex-husband, your ex-wife, they don't want to talk to you. They ain't showing respect. Welcome to the damn club. When we try to talk about actually being effective, well, again, number one mistake, I have two people working together. I'm just giving my tidbits with that. Totally understand the whole human aspect of it in regards to not knowing if takes more than one party to actually make sure everything works accordingly with that. Let me make sure I got everything going here, guys. Bear with me 1 second. Make sure we got proper. Uh, Bear with me 1 second. Okay, cool. I just want to check something as far as the actual internet everything. Okay, hold on 1 second. Cool. I totally understand that. I totally understand that you ain't gonna be the first, you ain't gonna be the last. You an ex that's not respecting you and everything, respecting you, respecting your situation. You now move to a new area. You're now dating, and now your ex wife wants to know certain things, and they're getting pissed because you got a new girlfriend. Your ex husband or whatever or boyfriend, they don't want the guy saying nothing to kids, all this other kind of stuff. And it can go haywire. It can go haywire. Trust me, I understand. When we start talking about being effective, you just can't hope and wish things to go a certain way. You got to do certain things. The other person got to do it. And this is just a building block to kind of give people just a direction for things to work in a certain manner. Because at the end of the day, we can say, hey, yeah, how we feel about certain people in certain situations, but it still go back to the kids. And I think we all got to get to a certain point where we can honestly focus and understand that, right? Everybody got to go through their different little healing and maturity levels to be able to process that. But in the meantime, I think if you focus on these three particular things, it'll help things go a long way. And the first one, like I said, was communication. The second, respect, and then the last one is trust. You got to trust people. You got to trust people. Now, I've heard this a million times. I don't trust them to do this. I don't trust them to do that. Well, you ain't got to trust shit. You guys got to abide by the parenting plan. And a lot of times people put, again, these emotional things into place, and that ain't got a damn thing to do with the trust aspect. I think what happens a lot of times, for whatever reason, sometimes people don't fight certain things, so some of the things don't come to the forefront. But because that person has a new person in their life, or that person has, one second, or that new person has moved in a different direction, and we say, I don't trust them. I don't think that's safe for them to be into and stuff. And I think far too often, um, the funky spot comes in is that the two adults can't find any kind of common ground to make folks comfortable. One parent is not obligated to um, go through certain things with another parent, but I think you can sometimes make things easier if the communication is there to say, hey, listen, we're going on this trip. This is what we want to share with them. You can say, well, look, I ain't got to tell you a damn thing. They're with me and this is what we're doing. This is where we're going. I get that part, but at the end of the day, like we know in the military, lose the battle, win the war. You can go back and forth with the person. I ain't saying say so. I ain't saying compromise. But when we start, I ain't got to tell you this. I ain't got to tell you that, which is your right. You know how far things are going to go. When we're talking about three keys to effective co-parenting, the communication, the respect, and the trust has to be in place. Those things got to be in place. Now, to what degree you guys can make it happen, I think it'd be the more the better. But I think um, wanting certain things to be a certain way without those things in place gonna make things real, 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 real difficult. Okay. So again, that the trust aspect is, if you feel like that your child is in danger or your child is threatened with a certain way, you can move forward with it. And most of the time, people don't necessarily feel that way. They just don't like the damn person. They don't like their ex, and so they just like, look, I don't even want to be in that situation, whatever. But um, if y'all got a parenting plan and things like that in place, that's why I will say this, guys. I know everybody got different money situations, things like that, but get your stuff on damn paper. Get your stuff on damn paper. And say, well, we don't need to bring the court involved and all this other kind of stuff. In a perfect world, you don't have to do that. But I do think, and some people, it may not ever be an issue. But far too often, when things happen in life, i.e., somebody start dating, i.e., somebody get a new husband, i.e., somebody get a new baby, i.e., somebody move or whatever, people get in their feelings and shit start going funky. So at the end of the day, the sooner you can get stuff on paper, again, I can't afford child support and all this other kind of stuff. I mean, the money you might pay in child support, the money you may pay an attorney, will be crumbs into how much less stress you have in your life because you did things, in a way where you can just be able to move forward with that. So, um, I would advise any time that you can get some kind of structure to your parent relationship, go on and do that. Okay. Now listen, again, we're talking about three keys to effective co-parenting. Does anybody have anything? I want to do a quick live feed before I left the office in regards to that. Do you guys have any questions or comments in regards to that? See, everybody came in, everybody quiet. I guess everybody is effectively co-parenting right now, with no issues or anything like that. And that's a great way, I guess. If that's the way you're rolling with that, you see, streaming live with that. Bear with me 1 second, guys. I want to check something out right quick. So if you do have any issues, guys, you right now again we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. If you do have any issues in regards to just co-parenting, anything like that, let me know. Put it in the chat. Let me know exactly what issues you may be having in regards to that. See, just 1 second. If you have any issues regarding co-parenting, I can just be sure with myself. It's been a journey. It's been a journey. For the most part, it hasn't, because I guess I have older kids. My youngest is 12, and the next one was 17, and the other two kids are adults. It hasn't been that challenging. I just think some of the trust, really, some part with the trust, but the most part, mine has probably been the communication and respect aspect, with doing it. And I've just learned how to kind of navigate accordingly. There have been a lot of things that probably been missed out with that. And that's one of the main reasons I had these conversations with people, because I know I'm not going through a solo situation. I never get in a conversation, anything where I'm talking about my ex-wife or talking about anybody in general, but the situations that happen and you have the conversation with other people, again, it's not just a singular situation with you. But that communication is key, because far too often when you're not talking, you're avoiding conversation with each other. Things still have to get done, and regardless if you like this damn person or not, things got to get done. And you take, so, well, I'm gonna just do it my damn self. Sometimes you just can't do it yourself, financially, legally, or whatever. Same thing, even with the respect thing. People don't like to say, you can say a person has to respect you, but legally they don't have to respect you. But at the end, you do so much damn damage when you disrespect people. A lot of times, relationships are just become undone. And I've had situations. I mean, even on the Change of Lives, I had my ex-father-in-law. He went rampant all on my social media, making all kind of posts. I mean, he's a senile ass old man, and everything. So I ain't put too much into it. Then go back and forth posting and fighting and stuff like that. But that's the whole thing, just a respect thing. Like, hey man, we passed that situation, and I just think those are things that were done that there have been relationships through all that can't be fixed or repaired with it, especially even the way that it was supposed to be mended or taken care of and stuff like that. So we got to be very, very conscious when people are doing certain things, i.e., going through a breakup or something like that. Remember, at one point you may be divorcing. At some point, you're going to be divorced. At one point, you may be breaking up. At some point, you will be broke up. And you have to be looking at it that the shit you're doing while you're going through that situation, how it's going to impact you in a future situation. I think a lot of times, again, we go back to the actual emotional standpoint. I can't stand her ass. He pissed me off and stuff like that. We forget about that. And we don't use logic with a lot of things. But when you know that, hey, this is actual a person, i.e. the child, that you guys are going to deal with forever, you got to kind of rethink a couple things. What I got, Coco Kid Mom 006. I'm dealing with a long distance co-parenting situation, which only hurts the child. We say the long distance situation hurting the child. What Where's the hurt coming from? Where's the hurt? Again, today we're talking about 3 keys to effective co-parenting. The statement that was just said is, I'm dealing in a long-distance co-parenting situation, which only hurt the child. How is it hurting the child? How is it hurting the child? There's the reason, I want to. I don't think that's uncommon situation where people have distance and everything like that. But I go back to your situation. It's still just your situation. How they live, things with parents' employment situations, their actual dating statuses and things like that, that can change. But I think again, we start looking at these 3 keys. If they're adhered to, i.e., communication, i.e., respect, i.e., trust, they can make things a whole lot smoother. Because again, far too often, parents forget that it's not about you, it's about the child. And that comes from both sides and stuff. And the impact of not trying to follow those 3 keys can be devastating for on a lot of different sides, moving forward, especially with the child. Because again, kids hear what we say, but they pay attention to a lot with what we do. And we can say, talk, do certain things and move a certain way, but if we doing things outside of that, it can have a real negative impact on a lot of relationships, especially with our children going forward. And that can be for either party with that. Okay. Let me see. I don't know what response with that yet. Is anybody else in any other streams? You have any situation dealing with co-parenting that you guys want to share? We want to discuss and everything with the communication. I'm at the lab right now. I ain't got my call in or anything like that, but feel free to put it in the chat if you have any issues with co-parent. Hell, if you're co-parenting and hey, y'all in the same damn house and you're having a funky situation, feel free to make a comment. By definition, we're probably looking at co-parenting from the perspective of you're in 2 different locations. But let's just say we're in the same damn house and we're trying to make things happen and we functioning like that and stuff. You got any comments about that? Feel free to state those as well. Let's see what we got. Okay, and right here we I was sitting there looking at a couple different videos and try to read up on a couple things in regards to the subject of co-parenting, and it's very interesting. Just kind of listen what other people say in regards to how they co-parent and things like that. But I know from a just common sense standpoint, you got to have 2 willing parties. You got to have 2 willing parties to be able to do it, and that can be super challenging with it because again, things have happened, things not in place and stuff like that. Kind of like that's why I even say having a parent and plan in place, because it's just like contracts keep relationships, and whatever's written down is what we got to abide by. And if that person doesn't abide by those particular things, we can always have some kind of recourse to go back. Look, I'm supposed to see my child at this particular time, regardless how the hell you feel about me or not. This is what got to have in place. And a lot of times when people don't want to abide by that, then you have a course of action. But if you don't have anything written down, there's nothing to protect your interests, your rights, or whatever in regards to your child. And we have different reasons why certain things ain't done. Like I said, just people don't want to get courts involved. People don't want to keep it real. Some people don't want to be on child support or whatever the thing may be. However, the parenting plan may be set up. But again, the money you spend, the money you lose, however you want to look at it, shit, you lose your damn sanity not knowing what the hell going on with your baby. So, so I'm just saying, me personally, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about that. With doing this, I think people should be very, very conscious about their decision with that. You can't go back in time and change who you made a baby with and everything like that, or who you were married to. What's done, and we can't do nothing but move forward with that. But I think trying to move forward the best way possible will make life a whole lot easier on everybody involved. See, got anybody in there? Well, listen, guys, we might just revisit this conversation later on. I don't see anybody interacting right now. I'm gonna wrap up here, leave the office, go take care of some other things and stuff like that. But remember, you can always go to the YouTube channel, Change Your Lives, hosted by Deonte Burden. Go to the YouTube channel, that's the main hub. That's the video there. You can leave comments on the video. Anything you want to add to, we can revisit everything later on. I appreciate everybody coming in. But again, those three keys to effective co-parenting: communication, respect, and trust. They definitely need to be there for you to have effective co-parenting. Okay, you didn't say you can't co-parent without those, but shit gonna get lost. Shit gonna get lost. You sitting there disrespecting your child's parent. That bothers that bothers them. Nobody want to see their mama disrespected. Nobody want to see their daddy disrespected, right? Nobody want to see that. No child want to be in the middle of I didn't hear this, I didn't hear that, because two damn adults can get on the same damn page, and no person as a parent want to be trying to do things with their child and they get questioned on every damn thing. There's nothing wrong with now. There's nothing wrong with one parent asking the other parents for clarity, but just that whole I don't believe he gonna do this. I don't believe they gonna do that. You gotta be careful who you sleeping with. You don't believe they're gonna do certain things. And I understand stuff happens, but when a person has that child at that time, you gotta trust they're gonna do the right thing. You gonna trust they're gonna do the right thing. And I like I said, I ain't finna sit here and run my trap. Like I've been smooth on all these, but that's why I can share that with you guys to let you guys know to be like shit. You want to effectively co-parent. Those three things got to be in place: communication, respect, and trust. They got to be in place. You can do it without it, but you're gonna have a lot of, I think, not a lot, but you're gonna have some negative effects because they weren't in place, because the actual byproduct that comes along with that. Remember, you ain't got to like somebody. You do not have to like somebody co-parent with them. They ain't got to be your damn friend. Y'all ain't got to do all this fun shit. Y'all don't have to do that. But you need to respect them. You need to communicate with them, and you need to trust them that they're going to do the right thing with your child. If you cannot trust them, you need to work to say, hey, they can't, whatever, the visitation, stuff like that. And don't have that be no emotional stuff. If your child going to be in danger, they can be, harmed in any kind of way. But just because you don't like what the hell they doing with their life now, that's not an issue to say you don't trust them. That's just your personal damn feeling, because whatever the hell going on. But that's the thing about it. It's not about you. It's about the child. And we need to, again, a lot of as adults need to be mature enough to understand that and be able to move forward with that, guys. So listen, man, I'm going to get ready to wrap everything up. Again, I'm Deonte Burden. This is Changing Lives, hosted by your boy Deonte Burden. Streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. The main hub is the Changing Lives YouTube channel. So I want you guys to make sure you go there and subscribe to the YouTube channel, especially if you're looking on TikTok. The link is in the bio to go to the YouTube channel. So definitely go check that out. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You're looking at us on Instagram. Remember, Deonte, put in Deonte Burden and the Google search or the YouTube search. Everything will pop up. And everybody else, listen, man, thanks for all the love and support. Been growing. Everything been going fantastic. Love you guys. Be safe out there. Again, leave comments. We'll be circling back with you guys probably later on this evening. Take care. Talk with you soon.